everybody, welcome into Rock Painting 101. The video tutorial you are about to see was previously recorded over on Facebook Live, and I was kind of experimenting and playing around with some fluid art style rocks. We came up with this beautiful rock. They almost look like poinsettias to me. I'm in love, and look how they dried. These don't even have a clear coat. This is just the shimmer that comes from using the metallic paints when you're doing fluid art. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. It's kind of cropped out of the Facebook Live, so just bear with a few of the comments and things like that that might be going on. If you enjoyed the tutorial, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you think of these fluid art rocks in the comments below as well. I've just got some giant popsicle sticks that I'm going to use today only because I'm trying to keep my hands clean so that I can do this video for you all. Now, if you followed the channel for a while, and we're going to move this guy off to the side. If you've followed the channel for a while, probably a really long while, you've seen me make this contraption before. So all I've done here is I've got just a sour cream tub or cottage cheese or something. I've punched hole punches in the side just to give a place for these skewers to sit, and I'm pouring my white paint over this so that I can catch the extra drips, and then I'm decorating them off to the side. So I'll still lose a little bit of paint, but this kind of saves my white paint so I'm not wasting a lot of it. I've got it pre-mixed with Floetrol. I keep it in a spare Floetrol container, and that way I can just pour it right over my rock, really let it flow over the edges, and I can save some of that paint. So we're going to start by doing that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what I've got around here. Try to find a spot here where I don't have paint, but I guess that's probably not going to happen. So I'm just going to take one of my rocks, place it right here. Now I've got these really nice flat rocks for this project. If you don't have something as flat as this, it's okay, but you do want to have some surface space, otherwise your design's just going to completely run off your rock. Now again, this is not straight Floetrol. This is half Floetrol, half white paint. I even labeled this one. I just use a lot of white when I do pour painting, whether it's on rocks or on canvas. So I'm just going to pour this right over the top, and I'm going to be generous because, like I showed you before, I'm catching the extra paint below. And that way it really floods and flows over all of those edges. So I'm going to set this off to the side and show you what else I've got, why this kind of drips just a little bit. I've got toilet paper tube that I've cut into just little stands for me to kind of prop my rock up off of my surface here. These are really flat, so if you work right on the surface, it's going to puddle along the edges a little bit as it drips over. I've also pre-mixed some colors here. I've got red and gold and green. I just realized I never moved my other light over here. It's usually a little bit closer for me, so it looks a little dark on the camera. Let's see if I can brighten this up a little bit. There we go. So these are all mixed with half and half with Floetrol. My biggest thing, I know there's lots of different recipes and we've shared some. These don't have anything for cells. I like them to be able to kind of stream off of my popsicle stick. Almost when you lift it up, it should be able to stream all the way down to your paint. Now I mixed these a second ago. I'll give them a quick little stir here. Now we're going to start laying our paint down on our rock here in a second. But first I've got to move it on, and this is kind of a tricky process. Normally I would just pick it up with my fingers, but since I've got my phone here, I eventually have to be able to hit stop on this, so I can't have my hands covered in paint. This extra stick in here, I kind of just run this along the edges, try to get any of these extra drippies off before I take it out. And that's why I have these giant popsicle sticks to help me move my rock without touching it. Normally I would just grab it because the paint's going to flow over the edges when you have the color a little bit, and you'll be fine. It's going to clean up any edges where your fingers might touch, but I'm trying to keep the hands clean today. Now, this was the first time I ever did this one over here, and if you guys are commenting, I have my phone a little bit higher than normal so that you can hopefully see everything I'm doing. Other supplies I have off to the side, I have toothpicks, I have my stainless steel straw. You guys have seen me use that before. And I think that's about it. I need to grab a fresh toothpick though, because that one probably has some dry paint on it. If you guys follow my stories, I had to clean up my desk today before I could go live here. All right, so I've got some fresh toothpicks here. I also have a damp paper towel off to the side. I try to always have that so I can clean my fingers and possibly my toothpick as I go along. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a ring of green on here. Paint is a little bit thicker than I normally have it. And then we're gonna do a couple little dots of gold around the outside. And I'm going to try to do similar to what I did over here. We'll put a couple in the middle with the one off to the left here, but no two rocks will ever be alike when you're doing this kind of process. It just doesn't happen. Then we're going to flood the center here with some red. Now the first thing I'm going to do is take my toothpick and kind of pull some of the red out to the outer layers with very skinny strokes, and then I'm going to actually use, these are like the kind that are thicker at one end and thinner at the other. Then I'm going to use the other end and kind of pull some bigger pieces off to the side. So I'm just going to start in the center, and I'm just going to pull the red out, and then I'm going to wipe off because I don't want to put the green in the center too much here. So I'm just pulling this red design out to the edge with the skinny side first. Like this. I'm going to go all the way around a couple times. And if you like the design more like this, then this kind of reminds me of a poinsettia. You could put more layers and stack your layers of color in here so that you don't have as much red in the center. And I actually ended up with a little bit more red. You can pull back the other way a little bit if you want to pull some of these colors back in. For a lot of people that have a hard time painting and have things turn out exactly how they want them, I think acrylic pouring and these kind of wet on wet techniques are kind of fun because you don't have a specific outcome that you have to have. Now I'm going to take the flat side and I'm going to do some larger swipes to really pull this color out to the edge, and it's going to actually lift some of that white underneath, and you're going to get some variations to your red. So you don't be shy. It will seem like, oh no, you're losing a lot of paint, but really, it's okay. Since you have Floetrol in your paints, it helps level the paint. That's really what Floetrol is for. You can buy it in like hardware stores and things like that because people use it for paint leveling. They don't even sell it at a lot of craft stores. So there we go. Once you kind of get some swipes, now we're going to use a little bit of air. So like I said, I've got this stainless steel straw if you're joining in late. You can use your own breath. I just don't want to have my head right here. You won't be able to see what's going on. So I'm going to try to use the straw. I did use my mouth directly on this one. But you can kind of use some direction with this as well. Just be gentle. You can always blow more. You can't take it back. And my head might be in there a little bit. Sorry if it's in your way at all. So kind of just play with it a little bit. As you'll see, I don't know if you can see from up there, probably cannot. It is flowing over the edges. So like I said before, if you pick it up and move it, it will set. This one has a little bit less white in it than my first one did. So I might try to break through and get some more lightness in this green area here. You can kind of play around with it. You can even go back with your toothpick if you want and do some pulling if you've got an area. I feel like there's a missing part of red here. You could even swipe in your red if you want and kind of dab. I'm gonna dab right in there. I just feel like that area was missing some red. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that one like that. I just love those pretty Christmassy colors together. I'm gonna try to carefully move this, and then we're gonna do something else. We're gonna do it with, let's see. I was trying to do a wreath over here. Not 100% happy with how that one turned out, but I think we can try just another in this kind of same process, just a little bit different, just so you can see. They all kind of turn out a little bit different.